Stolen gold, ancient tombs, sacred texts. Everyday people stumbled across these hidden treasures.
What was the weirdest thing that you learned from all the stories that they brought to you during the shoot?
One of the things that really kind of like surprised me was like the places that they found stuff. This lady found a Roman villa in her backyard. You know, she was digging in her plants and all of a sudden just ends up with a Roman villa in her backyard and got rich charging people to see it. And then that's kind of, and then finding a warship under a building in Manhattan, you know, under the World Trade Center. That was kind of you know, so it's kind of finds that aren't looking for, you know, like you go looking for dinosaur bones, you go looking for treasure, but these are just accidental, and it's kind of like that's the way. That's kind of awesome.
When they offered you this, like, Mr. Trejo, we have a show especially for you that you'll be hosting. Did you anticipate that there will be something like that?
History was probably the only grade I ever got that was good. You know? I'm sorry, but I wasn't like a big fan of English, of school, of math, but stuff that interested me, and history always just kind of caught my attention. So I would, you know, I got a good grade. And when this came up, God, I told I'll do anything. And my agent Gloria Hinojosa, she got this for me, and it was like amazing. I loved it, and it's the first time that I got to wear a suit, and I didn't have to take off my shirt and show my tattoos.
When you talk about school, I'm curious, when did you start thinking about your career as a guy from entertainment industry? Was it something that you had in your back of your head that you want to try it sometime?
The only acting I ever did, I was the siren in, I think, the second grade play in Emerson Grammar School. And I ran across the stage saying, "Get out the way, get out the way." That's what Mr. Siren says. And that was my big my big acting debut. After that, I never. And the way I got into acting was a friend of mine, one of the guys that I was helping sponsor off of drugs, called me and kind of said, "Hey, I'm having a little problem here. There's a lot of drugs at my job." And I went down to support him, and he was a PA on a movie called Runaway Train with John Voight and Eric Roberts. And I walked onto that set, and I ran into a friend of mine named Eddie Bunker, who was a writer and who I'd been in prison with. And Eddie asked me what I was doing there, and I told him, and then I'd been off. They were going to give me $50 for acting like a convict, and me and Eddie laughed because we'd been doing that for free forever. And and then he said, "We need somebody to train one of the actors how to box." And I was the lightweight and welterweight champion of every institution I was in. So I started training an actor named Eric Roberts how to box for the movie Runaway Train. And the director, Andrei Kozlowski, saw me and saw that I could deal with the situation and hired me. And I was asking Eddie, "What happened? What happened?" And Eddie said, "You just caught a rainbow, Holmes." And I got a SAG card. And it was like, wow. All of a sudden, I went from, "Hey, you," to, "Mr. Trejo, would you like some coffee?"
So when did you feel that you got this break, that you're on the right streak, that something changed in your life, that they are offering roles, that are thinking about Danny Trejo if they have a project that they're creating?
You know what? Everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. That's how I got into the movies. That's how I got into uh, God. I got into the restaurant business, and by helping someone else. And it just seems that the more good you put out, the more good you get. The History Channel, that's like a dream of my love history, and it's on right, the History Channel's on right now. That's always on because I've always been about Star Trek. I've always been a fan of William Shatner's anyway, and Aykroyd, Saturday Night Live. So it's like those are some of my favorite guys. So when I found out I was going to be working with them, the static, wow, and the History Channel is like so the mysteries unearthed is like it's like finding things. It's not like going out and looking for them. It's like that lady that discovered that villa in her backyard. And that's just kind of that's just the way things happen.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because your way from, as you said, a background actor to a guy who is hosting a show on History Channel, it's something beautiful. It's like this American dream that everything can happen for a person that works strongly and strongly believes.
You got that right. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It is like amazing, and this is a dream. And being affiliated with these guys, William Shatner's been all over the universe. And it's like I've worked with him a few times, and he's just such a nice guy. You wouldn't believe it. He's just such a great guy.
You brought the universe, so I have to ask you, because this is something that we are all waiting for. When is the Macheta going to space? When is it?
I want you to call Robert Rodriguez and tell him, hey, hurry up. Let's put Macheta in space, sucker.
And my last question is, because I want to hear this story, because I only heard it somewhere. How did Salma Hayek react on your tattoo? Because I heard lots of stories. So what is the truth?
My God. When I walked into the room, Selma Hayek screamed, he got my face on his chest. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? I do. And when I opened my shirt, everybody kind of, wow, it is her. I put that tattoo on probably 15 years before she was born. But it looks a lot like her. It was just so unbelievable that every time she sees me, am I still there? Yeah, you're here.